Quarantine Edition. I am Richard Ragoobarsingh speaking to you from Arima in the lovely island of Trinidad and Tobago.
Yay!
A little bit cloudy, sometimes sunny. It's a kind of mixed day in Arima at least. But I'm welcoming you to, of course, to our show and wishing you a wonderful day. Now we know that there are many people who are speaking up and speaking out, and that we feel is the first step to healing. So we say to you, let your voice be heard. Let it be heard, people. Of course, this is the time I say to you to come on in, call a friend, tell a neighbor, let your family know that OMG Live is on. Over to you, Richard Young.
Greetings. I am coming to you from the beautiful Maracas Valley in St. Joseph, Trinidad and Tobago. And I am happy to be here, and I'm welcoming each and every one of you to our show. Joining Richard and I, our beautiful co-hosts, who I'm going to give them a little chance to introduce themselves, but I want to continue what Raghu said. The discussion about race and equality continues around the world and even right here in Trinidad and Tobago, so we want to touch on it a bit. So ladies, please introduce yourselves.
Hi everyone, Camille Abraham from Maracas Valley. It's nice and cool up here, and I must say I feel lighter. Although we're going to talk about the whole race thing, you know, you're seeing some light at the end of the tunnel, right? So
discussions
enjoying
things up.
Yeah.
Hi, Vaughnette. You all know me. I'm a very open book. I tell people I ain't suffering from no high blood pressure, no time in my life. As it come out, as it did, bring it up one time. I don't. So it is just going right through. The discussion just continuing.
All right. Yeah. Hi, everybody. I'm Cecilia Salazar in lush, beautiful, tranquil Petit Valley in the northern part of Trinidad and Tobago. I really love Petit Valley, y'all. It's so quiet and sweet with hummingbirds, and you know, you can get away from all the traffic jam, and I love it here. And I feel very much like Vaughnette, that I'm somebody who says my mind. Sometimes I have to be careful what I say. So, but we're gonna talk openly here today on OMG Live, the Quarantine Edition.
Remember, folks, we are here on Mondays to Fridays, 2 to 3 p.m. right here at OMG TT on Facebook. And we are very appreciative having each and every one of you join us daily.
Exactly, and to our lovely people all around the world, our lovely fans, wherever you may be, and throughout the islands of the Caribbean, thank you so much for joining us, and welcome to OMG Live, the Quarantine Edition. It's our way of coming together to talk, laugh, and just build a special community with you.
We have a new guest.
I forgot he was in the house. I'm so sorry.
He has to make his appearance.
Including Cecilia's puppy. We move on today. We'll be playing the OMG Guess That Vintage Kaiso Challenge. Camille, Selvon, Abraham's favorite game on the list. You gotta ask any one of us just one question. We will also be featuring a music video from Ziggy Ranking. Song very appropriate for the times that we're in. Looking forward to seeing that.
Yes. So we'll see also some hilarious TikTok videos. You know, some of y'all just love that. And we also have a trailer from a new movie called A Typical Wednesday. Plus, lots of enlightening conversation to get you thinking. So please stay with us. This is OMG Live, the Quarantine Edition.
Great.
Yeah.
Coming up on Saturday, two of our hosts at 8:30 p.m. There is going to be PC Plenty Comedy right here at OMG TT on Facebook. Come and enjoy the full of its kind. OMG Virtual Theatre presents Plenty Comedy with our own girls right here, Penelope and Cecilia Salazar. They have not set a price, and you can You can see it for free, but we encourage you
Yeah,
to
you could.
donate just a little something, an amount. So you can go to fundmetnt.com or you can go to the Facebook account 2197626 and make a contribution. Okay, looking at
Thank
PC.
you. Yeah. PC.
Putting on a production is a lot of work. I don't know if people know this, but it's a huge amount of work and we need to get paid. So show your support, please. Remember, PC Plenty Comedy is for mature audiences only because of mature
Yeah.
topics and mature
Yeah, we're not very
All
PC
right.
at all, actually.
I'm so
Politically
sorry.
correct.
Why would you all do a production and exclude Cecilia? Why would you do a production and exclude
I
him?
know, oh gosh. I forgot about him, Vaughnette. Don't worry. The next one,
He
for
can't
sure.
see.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's a
so
good
we're all
one.
really excited. We're all really excited by this development. We are, and we look for new ways, to make a living. Yes, PC Comedy right here at 8:30 p.m. on OMG TT on Facebook this Saturday. Come in.
Yes.
Nice.
And
Nice.
a special hello to our voice in the sky, our electrifying God, master control himself.
Where's he today?
Electrifier.
That's it. Oh my God.
Feel the energy.
Oh God, my hair.
I get a little bit. I was in the end. I didn't get it too much.
Oh yeah, I ran out of hairspray, this thing.
We received it. It's like a blessing. It's like a blessing.
Somebody's fan is blowing on their
Yes.
microphone, so there's a heavy rumble.
Oh, I thought I was still
Check Camille.
electrifying.
I could try.
All right.
Because it doesn't.
Okay, let's move on. Yesterday's show we had our VIPs from very important points of view from our Facebook viewers. This is our time to acknowledge it. So here is VIP.
Our first VIP is Dean Bisundial, who's in Twin City. And he says, respect all races, but also I believe this respect must also transcend human beings, even animals or all sentient beings, for that matter. Thank you, Dean, for your contribution.
Yeah, that's so true. And then we come to our second very important point of view from Rhonda Byrne, who lives in Brooklyn, New York. Anyway, we have to endure this period and not get weary of it. We need to accept the pain we feel and have been feeling. We need to be in a place where we can be comfortable to live in our skin. We need to support and love other people that are in our skin. I couldn't help but give it that impetus there. So well said. That was so well said. He's a preacher. Maybe he's a preacher.
That was a good performance, Cecilia. Simone Donalan. Hi, Simone, from Port of Spain. We have to support businesses that respect our ideals and not the ones that continue to show their colors and contempt. Great words, Simone. We agree.
Yes.
Yeah.
Put your money
guys,
where
let's
your
see what our
mouth
fans
is.
on social media are saying. So I'm Richard and Vaughnette. If you could see what people are saying on social media at this point.
We have
in
Penelope
the show.
Spencer's in the house. Penelope
Hey.
Spencer's in the house.
Hey, Penny.
Hey,
Hi, Penny.
Hi,
Jonas Pedros, Grave, Renee Ramkissoon, Henry, Katie Cook, Cambridge Delpesh, Raphael Bernardine, Erla Williams, Sabrina Celestin, Hayden Rodriguez, John Michael Thomas, Nydia Byron. You have any comments there, Vaughnette?
I'm seeing Melbourne. And he said, hi, good to see you guys. Again, Erla Williams, Paige. I haven't seen Paige for a couple of days, and she's in Maryland. Greg Cave says, I'm here. Kirk Cambridge says, hello, fabulous host. Just Carissa says, I can't wait to go back to the plays. Renee Ramkisoon says, I'm here. Hello, OMG family. Taslim Ali says, Taslim Ali or
Taslim.
Taslim Ali, yes, says I want to see when we get to see Stephen Doobal on the line. Soon come. Soon come. Jade Woodruff is here, Paul Saran, Aloy Johnson, hi Aloy, and Patricia Remy Noel. Yeah.
Okay, there are just a few more that
It's
I
a
would not be
mystery.
forgiven if I didn't mention them. So I must say Rachel Young from London. Okay, Rachel Young.
I wonder
We
who is
have
that?
my sister, she wouldn't forgive me. Pat Dillon in Florida. We have Sean Edward, Shelly and Noel, and Brent Joel, who is an avid fan of our
Brent.
show, who watches us from Santa Cruz. Kimo Thomas is also there. So it's time to move on to our COVID-19 update.
Aw.
Let's take a look at the latest World Health Organization figures.
Today, the worldwide COVID-19 infection has been growing at almost 100,000 new cases a day. Yesterday, imagine we were at 6.5 million, and today we are 6,615,198 infected persons and counting. The death toll seems to be slowing. We are at 388,759 souls in the world who have died because of COVID-19. Kind of okay-ish news. The recovery is now over 3 million at 3,195,971 persons who have recovered.
In Trinidad and Tobago, we are extremely grateful for our situation, and again we should thank the authorities and all of the frontline workers who continue to do what is necessary to keep us safe. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
It's good.
Well, I don't know if we have any other new people to add to our list of people on. You see any special comments?
I'm seeing
Vaughnette,
Anna
any
Maria.
special comments?
No,
Anna Maria.
Paige
Oh my God, that's my friend in LA. She said she was going to listen today. She said she was going to join us. Hi, Anna. Hi, Anna.
Hi, Anna.
Okay.
Ellie's in the house.
I want to remind you who she is. You all remember who she is? She was the policewoman in the Wayan show. That was her brand.
What?
People all remember her from the Wayan show. The policewoman who was in the Wayan show.
Yeah, definitely. I love
That's
her.
great.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We know her well.
That was one of her signature things.
That's what it is.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
I'm seeing my aunt.
Well, let's move things along.
What's that, Vaughnette?
Yeah, go ahead, Rich.
All right,
Go
great.
ahead,
So
yeah.
we are moving things along, and of course, we are going to that bastion of people with extra gray matter that we love to take a look at their lives, called Meanwhile at TikTok.
Okay. So you are outside and it's
Okay.
raining cats and dogs. But that's not a term Trinidadians use these days. In fact, what you do is that you go inside and get a level. And well,
Uh-huh.
you will see for yourself what happens.
And a
Here is
sandbag.
Daniel underscore Sing TT TikTok.
Right. Yeah, it is confirmed that this is level rain.
Oh, she's
Sister.
nah. And you're real set up there, boy. That is
No, I was
God.
expecting more.
one ever.
Level rate.
You know why? Because
Yeah.
my porch is crooked. So when it floods up, I know about that level.
Oh,
I thought that was
I get it.
You should do a You need to do a TikTok
so
video,
funny.
Cecilia. Yeah.
I know. I have a couple ideas. I like that one that goes savage. Classy,
I get
bougie,
it.
financial.
That one I get it.
Okay. All right. Our next video Are you ready to make breakfast? You open a fresh box of eggs and pick up one. You look at it closely, only to realize that there is a crack. And what do you think happened here? Well, here is Call Me Grand on TikTok. Let's take a look.
Guys, I discovered something I've never seen before, I swear. He just, oh my god. Oh my god, I'm gonna be a... Oh my god! I just wanted to make an omelet, I swear. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Do you see this? Oh my... Oh my god!
Oh, damn it, man. No, I was expecting to see a cute little chickie.
That was real. That was real. Yeah, I
Right.
got
If he was,
fooled.
y'all, if he was a Trini, he would have
I
done
got
this.
fooled.
All right, TikTok.
I'm sure the Trinis will be doing their own version.
Maggie.
All right, our third TikTok video.
Oh gosh.
So you are the president of the most powerful country on planet Earth, and you make a grand gesture of standing in front of a Christian church with a Bible in your hand like Adolf Hitler. So naturally, reporters wanted to know why you felt so strongly to do this. You must be a very devout Christian, right?
Yeah.
Here is what you got for me on TikTok.
I'm wondering what one or two of your most favored Bible verses are and why.
I wouldn't want to get into it because to me that's very personal. You know, when I talk about the Bible, it's very personal, so I don't want to get into verses. I don't want to get into...
There's no verse that means a lot to you that you think about or cite?
The Bible means a lot to me, but I don't want to get into specifics.
Even to cite a verse that you like?
No, I don't want to do that.
You're an Old Testament guy or a New Testament guy?
Probably equal. I think it's just an incredible... The whole Bible is an incredible... I joke... very much so. They always hold up the Art of the Deal. I say my second favorite book of all time. But I just think the Bible is just something very special.
Yeah, he said that. Can you believe that?
And that is
Oh my gosh, I was drinking water and nearly spit it out on the computer. That is hilarious.
A whole bunch of nothing. A whole bunch of nothing that was. Jeez.
But before we go into our next video, because we have an additional video, but before we get into it, I just wanted to say a big welcome to my sister, Nyla Dabo, who's in the live. Richard Campbell, everyone say hey to sister.
Yeah.
So I'm saying,
I wonder if my mommy's there.
Nyla, my sister, she's there. So we have an additional video today that we got on from TikTok. It is not funny, but shows how people from every corner of the world are standing with Black America on the ongoing protest of the systemic racism that is killing so many in America. Let's take a look.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine.
That's powerful.
Yeah, it's bring tears.
Yeah, it is.
You want to run the
shows you
mascara?
how
It's
that
powerful.
issue of racism hits home in every single country on the planet, and the injustice of it is motivating so many people to say enough of this.
Yeah.
anywhere on the planet.
You know how
And if
they
that
talk
can
about
happen,
a peak.
and if that
They talk about COVID having a peak. I think that's what happened here. You know, we've been hearing it. They had Ahmad and Breonna Taylor and so many others. And it's been building and building. And I think right now with George Floyd, it just reached a crescendo, a peak that people can't take it anymore. It's
Yeah,
horrible.
exactly.
And of course, the fact that everybody watched it. Everybody watched it. We all watched him suffocate. We all watched him say, I can't breathe.
I saw a similar post yesterday where they showed pictures, but the different was that in America, it was the only place where there was these large clashes with the police. It was so ironic. All the other protests were peaceful. The police were there, but there weren't clashes. So it really exposed American society. Really, really did.
Yeah, the anger.
Okay, let's move along as I wipe the tear from my eye, because it really touched me, I wouldn't lie. That's how TikTok people are passing the time. Let's jump into our next segment, Trending Today. Yesterday we started the discussion that is gripping our country about racism, colorism, classism, colonialism, a country where we are all considered Black by Caucasian standards, and we see a lot of the discussions where people are trying to prove it as an even playing field by just having do the work and you'll get ahead. But we know that's not always the case.
No.
Raghu.
What's the case?
What they may not be getting is that Black Lives Matter, just like all lives matter. However, Blacks have had 400 years of genocide. That the many effects of countless generations of brutality has not been easy for this race to overcome and for others to see us as equal.
Let's take a look at this video from David Mohammed. He is the Caribbean representative of the Nation of Islam and the director of the Black Agenda. And see how he explains.
You want to talk to Vaughnette before we continue? Vaughnette?
Yeah, we should.
What's your feeling?
I do.
Yeah.
I'm just, I don't know. I'm just very hurt and very tired, and more so, I don't know. It's just maybe some maybe by the silence of some too, because it's so very easy to see why people need to react or why people need to have some sort of, I don't know. I'm just thinking in terms of Trinidad and Tobago. So you show that video where we saw this worldwide movement where people across the world, Black, white, any other color, could actually connect because they saw the injustice of it all. And right here in Trinidad and Tobago, we have where we should be so much more together. We have people not even understanding people's right to feel hurt. And that's, I don't know. And I'm thinking that we have to live and work. We have to live among each other and work among each other. And I mean, you don't have to necessarily agree too much, you know. You don't have to agree, you don't have to feel it, but you can at least empathize, understand why. Just understand why people feel it and allow them to feel that way. Allow them the freedom to feel it. Or
that is
probably just say nothing. Because saying nothing, I can still assume that you empathize when you say nothing. But when you come out and you're vexed with me because I'm feeling hurt and I'm reacting because I feel hurt, then I don't know. I don't know. I'm such an ugly crier, and I am going to leave the show now because people keep showing people. You need to show these
Yeah,
videos.
he liked that. Yeah.
It's just been a very difficult couple of days for me.
Yeah, I also think about you, Vaughnette, often because you shared with us. I mean, you have brothers as well living in America right now. 4 brothers. My gosh, that makes it even more personal than.
I have two sons. I have 2 sons, and they are going to return to London because they were born in London. And if you think America has racism, the UK has racism, right? It just plays itself out in a different way. So that pain that Vaughnette has, and that pain that is on mothers' faces, I don't think people understand it, because you're seeing that your boy child is in the middle of this thing. Even if they live in Trinidad, they are in the middle of this thing. And sometimes it seems a little bit hopeless. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Let's listen to David now then.
Yes.
The reason we say Black Lives Matter is different to the reason that they say all lives matter. When we say Black Lives Matter, we're saying it within a particular context. When they say all lives matter, it is a disrespectful counter-argument seeking to remove the significance and relevance of the idea of Black Lives Matter. There are 4 reasons why the African Holocaust against African people was the worst ever, most brutal and cruel series and set of crimes against humanity. 1, the number of black people who were killed. Conservative estimate by the United Nations, close to 200 million. 2, the duration of the period of time, for almost 400 years, when the Jewish Holocaust and World War II lasted barely 6 years. 3, the psychological, social, and spiritual, mental impact and damage that it did to African people. And 4, the intergenerational as well as the intergenerational impact that it had from the people who were enslaved, which was carried on to their subsequent generations. Now, when you take all of that into context and bear in mind that African people were the only people who were beaten, raped, tortured, enslaved by the millions, we were the only people who were not only whipped, tortured, and brutalized, but they would cut open the stomach of the pregnant black woman, whip out the fetus, slam it on the ground, crush it under their boot heel. They would tie our hands and legs to horses and get them to run in 4 different directions, calling it quartering and drawing. They would bury us in our necks, up to our necks in the sand, and put honey on our heads and get vicious bees and ants to attack us. They would drown us in the rivers and the lakes with heavy stones around our necks. They would cut off a hand, cut off a limb, use a hot iron to brand us, and kill us in the millions under the law, because the state of Virginia in the 1600s passed the Casual Killing Act, which made it legal for any white person to kill any black person for as long as that black person disobeyed a direct instruction to return to a slave plantation that they were registered on. No other race of people went through this. The loss and robbery of our name, language, religion, culture, morals, folkways, laws, and norms are being disconnected and dispossessed from their glorious heritage. And then you miseducate a whole people, teach them that they were savage in jungles, barbaric in Africa with no language or civilization. And then through that enslavement, even after slavery was over, they continued to lynch and arbitrarily execute us, even if they suspected us of a crime. Then they went on to make all kinds of chemical and biological germ warfare, viruses and diseases against us, such as HIV, AIDS, and a number of experiments which killed us by the millions. And then after all of that, we are being beaten and killed, executed by law enforcement officers in the street, from Trayvon Martin to Jordan Davis to Walter Scott to our beloved brother George Floyd. All of those cases, and don't forget in Trinidad and Tobago as well, Kadeem Phillip, Shaquem, you had Nigel Caesar, Shaquille McCoy, 17-year-old Ricardo Muhammad, and Tristan Cobbler. And then after all of those truths, and we say Black Lives Matter, you want to come and say White Lives Matter to disrespect the lives of those black people?
Imagine you have 10 students who are dining around the table to eat, and 9 of them are served and 1 is left out. And then the teacher says, but Jeff needs to eat. But the server says they all need to eat. Not only have they disrespected Jeff, but they have totally neglected, rejected, and abandoned his need for equality. So maybe some of us are saying it because we're hoping that the master will hear us and see us as an ally, but black people get conscious. Yes, we know the value of all human life, but no other people in all the annals of history have ever suffered the brutal crimes against humanity that black people have suffered. And if you want to equate that with the lives of those who were the perpetrators, as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, for every 1,000 years that the white race has been on planet Earth, they have killed 100 million people. And then you will call that racism for me saying it, but you won't even identify it as racism for them doing it. That is how brainwashed we have become. Black Lives Matter, beloved.
Powerful.
Yeah,
powerful. You all know that they have a whole building that they focus on empowerment of black people in Laventille, right? Called the Kwame Tourist Center for Development. They are doing serious work. And if you think that David Muhammad is radical, don't talk about his wife, who I love, because Roxanne Muhammad, they do the work, and this is what we need. Because what I felt there from what he said is that there must be trauma from that. And a lot of people will say, oh, we need to get over it. We need to get over slavery. But there is trauma still, because we were brought here, and we, you know, the way, we were brought here, and the way we were brought, we had to fight for our freedom. We had to fight. So having land and having property and having money in the bank, that was never part of our thing. We had to build that back up. So the trauma that he's talking about there is still happening today. And that is why young black men are struggling like this. That was so powerful.
And then Camille, to bring it even more forward, what about people like McCandle Dagger? And we don't teach the young black boys about these people as well, that went on to do all sorts of things. Yeah, we don't teach them.
Yeah. So they themselves know that they're powerful and they come from a good history. Whew, that was sheesh.
Let's play the game now. Oh God, let's play the game.
Oh gosh, game already?
Let
No,
me
we have
lift it up.
trending. We still have trending.
Let's
Trending. That's it.
That's what was trending.
That was trending. We
is
can't.
what
That
was
was
trending.
trending.
Yeah, we can't trend no more.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Well, he said it for us. We're just going to say hello to a few people who have joined us. Damien Edwin, Samuel Odeje, Vanda Neil Gardner, Marlon Rampasad, Angel Mejias, Paul Saran, Diana Rhinton, Patricia Remy Noel, Camille Pear, Michelle Rivas, Joan Pear, Karen
Marlon.
Prince Mandela, Charu Lochandas. Hi, Charu.
Hi,
Carly
Charu.
Williams, Mary Miller, Roma Spencer, Nigel Holder. So we have
Hi,
a nice mix
Roma.
of people.
That was funny there. You had a pair of pairs.
We can go to the game. There we go to the game. Let's play that game.
This, of course, is for all the lovely people who have joined us and who are participating, talking, chatting with us. We appreciate you, and this one is for you. So, guys, get ready. All right. Today, our game focuses on what we call the OMG Guess That Vintage Calypso Challenge, where we play you a classic calypso, and you have to tell us the name of the song and the name of the singer. Of course, if you get it right, you get to ask any one of the panelists, any one of us, a question, a singular question. And of course, if you don't, well, c'est la vie, that's just the way
That goes on.
A nice one.
All right. Our
So we
first
can
clip
go
is.
Good Lord God. They asking everywhere how I come next year.
Oh gosh, we're singing bad. Somebody did a remake of that. Bungie.
Who did? Bungie did?
Yes,
Bungie.
yes,
Oh,
it
God.
did.
That was
I love
the
her
Actually,
music.
Pagey
come
Page.
on, somebody must have gotten it by now.
Pagey Page.
Yeah.
Pagey Page.
What's the
Pagey
answer?
Page.
Yay!
The Maestro
Fiery.
Fiery.
Maestro.
Maestro Fiery.
Nice.
Not
Rob the
Savage
second
Romance.
I went up sour by my old partner, and I end up instead with his sister. We started to chat about this and about that, but this girl she was facing real horror. Honey,
What kind of thing is that?
And
Don't sing the words, hum it.
what kind of thing you're trying on
And
me?
you're trying
Dixon, hum it.
This was when I hear the song. This was my first carnival party. I went to this. That's how young I am. Jeez, yeah.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, my mom
I know
used
it
to
as
dance it.
I
My
was
mom
about to
used
do
dance
common entrance, I think, when this came out.
Yeah, I was. Yeah. Well, we have the usual.
My first carnival party I went. I was probably age 14. You know.
We have a winner, Camille Pear. Camille Pear.
Yeah, Camille.
Yeah.
What's the answer?
Don't try that. Don't try that. Crazy, don't try that.
And our final clip to select our third and final winner.
neither no big message to bring. All they tell me, hey man, as a Tysonian, go and sing this song through the land. Keep singing every day. Remember, mommy said.
What's the la 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 la?
Oh, that's easy.
As if we sing it.
This one is particularly easy.
Yeah, for Trinidad. Well,
somebody must have gotten that
the
by
people
now.
who know the Kaiso, the Calypsos. What year was that, boy?
But some of them are so classic, you know. I think it spans generations. People know them, you know.
Really? I must ask my daughter if she knew that one. I bet you she don't know it.
Yeah, because she's only listening to Taylor Swift.
The young one? My young one? No, my young one.
Mandela. Harold Prince Mandela. Penguin.
She's more into Billie Eilish and stuff.
Okay, guys, so we're waiting on the questions from Carol, Pagey Page, and who's the other one? I can't remember who's the other person that won now. It's Carol, Pagey Page, and I can't remember the
Page and Prince Mandela? No. Oh, no, that's Carol. Pagey Page.
Camille Page.
The other one.
Oh.
So why we waiting? Why we waiting? June Pear, you mean? Or is it Camille Pear?
Camille Page.
Camille
Pear. They have a pair of pairs.
While we're waiting for those questions to come in, of course, that game is always loved. It's always great to hear those vintage calypsos. We'll move to our next segment while you construct your questions for the panel. We're moving to OMG Live on your screen.
In today's trailer, a young man embarks on an adventure with another patient at the office of his therapist, who he visits every Wednesday. Here is a typical Wednesday. Let us take a look.
What makes Gabe happy?
I don't know.
This is therapy, Gabe.
Yo, what are you doing?
Hitchhiking.
I'll give you a ride home, yeah?
Okay. Wait, this is not my house.
What do you mean this is not your house?
It's by the beach.
By the beach? We in the valley. Alec, we're in the valley. I just really need your help.
Is it a white kid did you steal?
We gotta find out where he lives, find out where his parents are so we can return him home.
Is that Millie? You look amazing.
That's your ex-fiance who wants to take you on another trip around the world somewhere.
Oh, she caught this one when we were on a sailboat in Jakarta.
You have a woman who's ready for what you say you're ready for. But instead of being a man, you waste time investing in senseless relationships just to prove that there are no sustainable relationships.
Bailey, what are you doing?
I know somebody's been here. Look at this.
Was she your girlfriend?
No, she's just a bunch of whiskey shots and a mistake. Damn, little man, what happened to your kicks?
Guess I must have gotten dirty playing with my friends.
What happened at school today, honey? Why did you do that? What if Alec is a serial killer? What would we do then?
We will love him just the same, as long as he doesn't kill us.
What do we do to you? Huh?
Get on the car! Get on the car!
I don't want to do it.
Boy, you better breathe. Gentle strikes.
Awesome!
Yeah, big dog, bang it out!
It's me, Alec. A-L-E-C. Right in a car, going real fast, making it rain.
Stop that. When you think about rapping, just don't. You know?
Okay.
Typical.
Oh, is this going to straight to, you have to go to the website to watch it. It's not like a Netflix or Prime or it's not a streaming service.
Gosh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wonder if I'll ever see it.
Just go to soandso.com.
All right, I'll have to remember that. But it looked good. I like that. I like the
grapevine that there are ways, Cecilia.
Thank
Camille
you.
has a question for Camille. Camille has a question for Camille. And she's asking,
I like that.
Is there any way that our animation and performance creatives can collaborate to educate our young ones at the primary level of education?
It is critical that we do that. Not just animation, but technology and a whole need to start from primary school level. I had a talk recently, a whole session on that with the Internet Society of Trinidad and Tobago, and I made a list of things. And one of the things that primary level schools need to learn is coding. They were taught the alphabet how many decades ago, and that was important. But coding now is like the new alphabet. It is critical. I could go on and on and on, right? But yeah.
Camille,
Camille,
I have personally raised that issue of coding with the last Minister of Education and the current Minister of Education personally, in terms of interviews I would have done with them. Because I knew when England started it in primary school, which was several years ago now, and I said, if our young people are to be globally competitive, we have to start looking at our curriculum and reinventing it for the digital economy and making sure that they have the skills and tools to do that. I have brought it up with both. And the current Minister of Education told me, well, they have labs. They have labs.
Oh my God, he totally doesn't get it.
He's a dinosaur.
Exactly, and
he doesn't get it.
I don't know. But it's
and
something that pains me.
It is so weird that you are saying this.
That conversation that you just had there, Camille, it gets me so annoyed.
Yeah.
That we are not even seeing
I'm trying.
the picture. That we're not seeing.
No, my daughter just told me.
Pushing it.
She just told me she wanted to learn coding. She's 11. I didn't have a clue what she was talking about. I really didn't know. So now I have to figure it out. Now you're all talking about it. That's so interesting.
Yeah, my husband, my son is 6 and he's probably in his second year of coding class. And I didn't know what it was at first when Shilon mentioned that he was going to take Isaiah to the kid. Then like, what was that?
Very
What is
good.
that?
His
I'm
future
gonna look it
is
up.
solid, Vaughnette. His future is solid, I'm telling you. Best thing ever.
Yeah.
Good question.
I'm
Great.
seeing a
Good
request here
question.
from
And now I learned
Raphael.
something.
There's a request
And we all
here
learned
from Raphael Boudin. A soft request. Might I request something for tomorrow's show if I can? Can the panel
Yes.
bring a beautiful, happy memory from their childhood? And on how becoming a parent themselves. I'm not seeing clearly. I don't know if you're seeing it, Vaughnette.
He says, yes, he says, can the panel bring a beautiful, happy memory from their childhood, or how becoming a parent themselves has completely changed them? Can we do this for tomorrow's show? Raphael is
nice. That's nice.
Richard,
and that's nice and positive.
Richard,
He's so
yeah,
sweet.
it is very positive. Richard, some advice. Put on your glasses now. Right.
Not while we on screen.
No, exactly.
He says nothing.
Yeah.
There's no response.
Any other questions?
I like that. So
everybody
he wants us to come with either a memory or how being a parent or both.
Okay, so we're doing that tomorrow. Y'all,
Okay.
that's your homework.
Memory.
So yeah,
Everybody
let's move on.
relinquish their questions.
All right, Rob.
They kind of relinquish.
All right. So okay, so we can move along. So we can move along, right?
Yes.
We're moving right along.
Yeah, okay.
Moving right
Thank you
along.
all very much for your thoughts. Let's go over. Let's go over to our viewers on social media, etc. Is there anything to shout out on social media? Looking at who's on, anybody additional is on?
No. This is yeah.
Okay.
And you have on your glasses,
Okay.
Ragu.
I have to put on mine to see the clock.
Come back.
To see the
We
little
talk so
clock there.
much.
Oh,
We talk so much. I was like, where are we? So the first thing I see is that. Yeah.
Oh my God. You got so much into it.
At least you had on your glasses.
So I was thinking. So what are you thinking, guys?
I will start and then send off, and then we'll close off with Ragu. So that's what we kind of have.
All right.
I
Okay.
just saw something. I saw this gentleman, I think it's from the New Orleans Saints, he's a quarterback or something. Drew Brees, I think his name was, and he had come out actually against the kneeling for the anthem. And so all of his teammates kind of went in after him because he had a similar kind of position like what we talked about yesterday here, and kind of underestimating the value of what the matter is with Black lives. But he came this morning and he apologized, and his apology was solid. And so therefore what he got from some people coming forward is that you have to own up. Own up when you have made a mistake, own up when you are ignorant, own up and say that he has to listen more. He talked about the fact that he could never feel what a Black man feels, but the Black men that he knows, and he has a lot, because I was seeing a lot of people commenting on him, are his brothers, and now he wants to be part of the movement because enlightenment is part of this process too for the healing. So I liked what that raised, and I like the fact that he is owning up to having made a mistake, because that's possible. I think when you stay in the realm of being indignant about what you might have said that might not have been intended or whatever, is where the problem really festers into the ugly that is brewing right now, particularly in our Caribbean societies. So I just wanted to acknowledge that, and I think that aspect of owning up and claiming and becoming part of the movement with a fuller understanding is also part of the process of moving forward. Yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Talia, I love when the young people say, you're woke. You're woke. At first I was like, what does that mean? But you become awoken, or you've awakened. You can't go back to sleep once you're awake. So stay woke. What I was thinking, this whole COVID-19 thing, as we're talking about bringing neighbors and people closer together, I was selling some masks. So I got to know my neighbors a lot better because everybody in the neighborhood supported and bought a mask or two. And then I found out today that the top of my street hasn't had water in like 6 days. I live at the end of the street and I have water. Apparently, we get water from 2 different sources. I get from the lush hills of Pity Valley, I like to imagine, and they get it from the main road. So they were all messaging in the group that they had no water. And I said, well, I have water down by me. Just bring your containers. So they say, okay. So carloads with containers turned up outside my house. I be washing the containers and everybody filled in the water. And you know, I just think, I just wanted to share that everybody, neighbors, helping neighbors. And can you imagine in one neighborhood, the top of the street have no water for 5 days. And at the end of the street have no problem with water.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? But I'm really getting to know my neighbors a lot better. And it got a little extreme because one say he have a job on Friday morning if he could come and bathe by me. You know, of course I said yes. No, after one clean the bathroom also.
I don't really have anything else that I was thinking, but I just want to mention one of our very regular viewers, Paige. She hasn't really been experiencing the best of health over the past couple of days and maybe weeks. So I just wanted to send her some positive vibes and energy and to let her know that we're thinking about her and wishing her the best and praying for her complete recovery. Yeah.
Absolutely, Paige.
Paige, we missed you. We were wondering where you were. Stay.
Sending love and light. Sending love and light and healing. What I was thinking is a little bit light still to do with what we're going through. But if you all notice that on Facebook, everybody's doing the avatar business.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of people changing and going on to Facebook and creating their own avatar. It's something that Facebook is doing. But what I noticed is something that I experienced at UTT when I first started the program. I did an exercise for the students and I said, do a self-portrait of your animated self. And they did a self-portrait and every single skin tone was a light or white skin tone. And a lot of them had blue eyes. And I'm telling you, I had no white people in my class, right? So obviously, how they saw themselves and how they portray themselves was not real. And therefore, why are you not liking your own skin tone and color of your eyes? So that was a whole lesson for me. And it was one of the reasons why we brought in a particular program called Cultural Conceptualization, which is about looking at yourself, looking about local artists, discussing local music, discussing art that is coming from the Caribbean, just kind of accepting yourself. And what I noticed with the avatars, a lot of people put a lot lighter skin tone than their actual color tone. And that is something we need to say it. You know, say it. Come on, face up and accept who you are and accept your color. So that's one thing about the avatar, but there's also something else I need for Trinis to understand. When you give Facebook and these people your information, you give them free of charge data, all right? When they ask you to do that avatar, they're asking you what color your skin tone is, how tall you are, where you live, what is your eye color. You're giving them a lot of information about yourself. So just be woke. You see Cecilia talking about it. Just be woke when you play these games because you are giving them data, which is what they use to make their money. They're billions of US dollars.
Thank you, Camille, for that warning. And that is crazy because if I had an avatar, I would look like Atalia Samuel. That would be my avatar. I would look like that. Oh my gosh, she's so
I remember, Camille, I remember when we were doing the first anime career, remember? That was one of the things. I remember coming to talk to the people, the young students, because all the images that they came up with the animation, I said, Camille, but that don't look like anybody. In fact, it was Japanese animation that was really forming what they were doing.
Japan
So we have
manga,
great play to it. Because the sketching was amazing. It was really amazing, but it didn't represent us. Yeah.
You all have a great idea. Let's animate us. Let's animate OMG live. Let's get out of it.
Cecilia crazy, you know.
Yeah, Cecilia, take another smoke. So, I mean, I was just thinking, I saw Barack Obama's, the 44th president, speech last night, talking to his young group, but of course it was a virtual talk, but it was of course broadcast on a lot of the networks. And I took the message of hope with Barack Obama. He's so excellent at translating hope out of situations, and I am hopeful like never before that what we are seeing, this historical movement, and because I think we are in a historical nexus in terms of what's happening in the United States and that the entire planet is watching, I want to opt on the side of hope that this is going to transform how we deal with each other and how we recognize that we are all human and Black lives matter. So that's what I've been thinking.
Good. Yeah. Say it. Yeah. Say it loud.
Yeah.
I love Ole, so gosh. I love Ole.
So, well, do we want to? This is the point at which I was supposed to say what I said before, so I'm saying it now again. Tito.
I don't know. Social media now, just died. Camille, any final comments on social media? You seen that, Camille?
I'm not seeing anything. I'm not seeing
We
anything.
can say a shout out. I could just do shout outs Christine Johnson, Melissa Roberts, and I want to say again a special shout out to my friend Anna Maria Horsford in Hollywood who joined us. We just had a talk. She said, I'm going to do it.
Hi, Anna. Let us know when your next show is. Well, it might be a while.
Thank you very much.
Oh, you all look at it. Look at this.
Oh, that's nice.
I just got lucky.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah, boy.
All right, it's time.
All right, it's time to mosey on around, y'all. Let's go.
I want to say a special thank you, and again, and not that we need to be mushy all the time. Same point that Vaughnette just said. I love you all. All right.
Thank you.
I'm glad that for those who came on and watched the show and to share with us, please send us your comments, your thoughts. We have a spiel here. Comments, your voice notes, your photos, your video clips, your thoughts, and your perspectives. Email it to info@omgtt.com so we can share it on the OMG Live, the quarantine edition, right here.
Yeah.
If your Facebook Live edition of today's show was glitchy because of the irregular internet speeds by you and by you alone, you can watch a smoother recorded version on YouTube. You just need to go to OMG TVTT on YouTube and we're going to upload it shortly. Now join us Monday to Friday at 2 p.m. right here at OMG TT on Facebook.
Okay.
Richard,
And again, I have to say, Anna Maria has actually said it was a fabulous show. She said fabulous show.
Thank you, Anna Maria.
Bye,
Thank
people.
you, darling. And this is our chance for everybody to get a point in, say your farewells, your last words to whomever, and
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Sis, I'll talk to you. Mwah.
And as we always say,
Oh, let's.
Okay. We need to really take the ranking song. This is the ranking song, this is Rebel Life. Thank you again, everyone, for it. And we always say at
I guess we're not saying it.
I don't have one.
Yeah, we're saying it now. All right. Start,
I
Camille.
always say on OMG. I always say on OMG. Camille.
Let's
Be
Kind.
Other TNT.
No more. Now me woman she gone and she left.
on the Caribbean.
Never felt so lonely before. Now me tired of this miserable life. Tired of the worries and the problems and the strife. Tired of the things when them not going to rise. Oh, yeah. Tired of this miserable. All this miserable. Tired of this miserable life. Tired of the worries and the problems and the strife. Tired of the things when them not going to rise. Oh, yeah. Tired of this miserable. All this miserable. Can't stop from praise the Almighty. Cause you know that he can't stop, yeah.